This is why I could never be a camera reviewer or have a camera channel, because you just end up doing things over and over again with different settings. Can't think of anything more boring. But since my last DJI Nano Vido, DJI have asked me to check some stuff, and some people that watch the video, some far more talented people than me, have asked me to check some stuff. So I'm going to do a few walkthroughs of the offending area where I got all the jitter and see how that turns out now. So I'm going to walk through this leafy tunnel of doom a few times and see if I get jitter or if it gets cured. We're on the pendant mount for the Osmo DJI Nano 4K25 D-Log game. This is my first time ever colour grading. Let me know what you think. Probably be shite, but never mind. We have got the daily anti-motion blur setting. So motion blur is on, which is apparently the culprit. 25 frames per second, and it will choose its own shutter speed. Watch out, dog. I'm walking back through with anti-motion blur on. Apparently that's the killer, the motion blur, because it's to do with shutter speed. Apparently if it goes beneath 100, the stabilisation can't work. We shall see. We'll try something else in a second. The motion blur setting is now on to daily again. However, in exposure, although it's still in auto exposure, I've restricted the shutter speed to 100, 1/100th of a second and upwards, so it can't go beneath 1/100th, which apparently is the same thing as the anti-motion blur does, but only DJI can confirm or deny that. Right, how did that work? 4K25 D-Log game 10-bit, but this time I've fixed the shutter speed at 1/100th, and the ISO is 100 plus to 12,800 or something like that. So it's the ISO that varies to change the exposure. How's that working? So all the previous clips were with rock steady, but the DJI people said to try it with horizon balancing, so I'm doing that as well. This is horizon balancing, shutter speed fixed at 1/100th, ISO 100 to 12,800, D-Log M 10-bit. One last go, D-Log M 10-bit, but everything else is back to auto again and daily for your anti-motion blur setting. This poor dog is wondering what the hell's going on. Me walking backwards and forwards through here all the time. Okay, we're doing the Action 5 now on this, tucked in here. That pendant. Okay, so 4K25, rock steady, wide lines, and everything is normal. Let's see how this goes. Action 5 Pro snap mounts. On the snap mounts mount, hanging around my neck, attached to the front of my J-kit. You can feel it bouncing a wee bit. How's the stability? Have we got jitters on this? Tends to be alright on my bike, so I imagine it'll be alright on here. Action 5 Pro, D-Log M, 4K25, shutter speed set between 1/100 and upwards, ISO 100 to 12,800. but I've changed the anti-motion blur to sport, which removes it on this camera. So let's see how that gets on. And we've got one final one to go. We'll see how the GoPro 12 gets on with its shite low light performance. Alrighty, so the last one then. GoPro 4K 25 wide lens, hyper smooth on. Into the darkness, how's it coping? And we've got some doggies to contend with. Good boy, good boy, good boy. How you doing? You alright? Good boy, let's go. Yep. Good lad. And sit. Back in the Nano handheld. Get a wee bit of drone footage of where I'm doing this phase. And then I'll finish my dog walk without faffing around doing camera review shite. Fair play to those of you that have got the patience for it. Not for me, but just do your jobs properly, eh? So while you look at my crap drone footage, I found after reviewing the footage there that the best settings for a chest mount for the DJI Osmo Nano are auto exposure, but fix it between 1/100th and 1/8000th of a second, recording D-Log M10-bit, have anti-motion blur set on in the stabilisation scenario. What a mouthful that is, man. And rock steady on, or horizon balancing. I don't think that makes any difference really. Okay, and reviewing the footage, it surprised me that it was actually better than the Action 5 Pro. Even the GoPro 12 looked better than the Action 5 Pro. I'm going to need to do this again with my Action 4 Pro because the stable on that was excellent. Also, I didn't test checking the frames per second to 50 or 60 if you're using a 30 frames per second timeline. I think that would probably change half of these things to what we've manually set them to anyway. Okay, the camera never overheated. What a surprise, eh? And to those that need a camera indoors with no airflow for 40 minutes to an hour, what's your use case, eh? You naughty people. I think you've got the wrong camera for that kind of stuff, although I believe the wide and ultra wide lenses are quite flattering in some scenarios. You can know what I mean. But 40 minutes, man. 40 minutes. That's pretty impressive. Well done.